back to my channel and welcome to my faves of 2019. So I'm going to be sharing my top 10 favourite books of 2019. I somehow managed to get what is that? So today I'm going to be sharing my favourite books of 2019. I somehow managed to get five-star books and then the rest are 4-star books. I did make a rule, I'm only picking one book from a series, so we do not have 7 entries of Harry Potter. And the first 5-star book I read this year was Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. This is the one I went for the Harry Potter series. I feel like so much happened in it. It was more mature as opposed to the younger ones that aren't that dark yet. Everything that happened with the DA, I loved. It felt like we were learning magic again as we were teaching it to everyone else. It's the biggest book in the series. There was a lot in this book that wasn't in the movie. Everything that happened at the Ministry at the end was amazing. There was so much that I didn't know was going to happen. This is my 5-star. I had a few more 5 stars, but I chose this one. The second book I gave 5 stars to this year is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I don't have a physical copy. I did read this on my iPad. I did not expect this book to go where it went. I knew it was like a thriller. I couldn't put it down. It was so creepy. I didn't know what was going to happen. The book had twists and turns and I honestly didn't know what was going to happen. The next book I gave 5 stars to was Illuminate. This is the first book in the Illuminate files. It was amazing. I think a lot of people like the second one better, but I preferred the first one because of the disease that's running around on the ship. It made the atmosphere so much more interesting, intense. I listened to this via audiobook and it's phenomenal. It's probably the best audiobook I've ever listened to. The whole series is. They're all amazing. It has sound effects and it's got a full cast. It was really good. I do recommend the audiobook. While talking about the scientific parts of the novel, it's not written so it's so complex that you don't know what's happening, but it's also not dumbed down either. It walks the middle line, so it's really good. I just really like the way this book is written. It's written through emails and surveillance camera footage, so it's not your normal style of writing. It's really fun. This book follows our main characters, Katie and Ezra, who are living their normal lives and get messed up in these 2 mega companies that are at war with each other. Their school gets bombed and they have to evacuate on a fleeing spaceship and fight their way through this war. And the last book I gave 5 stars to was Crooked Kingdom. This was so good. This follows our group of ragtag criminals as we try and get Inej back and then complete another heist. Really, I can't say much because it's the second book, so pick up the first one, love it, live it, and then pick up this one and embrace it. And the final 5-star review I have to share with you today is A Pet Sematary by Stephen King. This book was so good! This book is about a family who moved to an old town who discover there is a pet cemetery in their backyard, and it causes some interesting things to happen. Slow build book, but it's done so well. You really fall in love with the main characters. This book focuses on grief and how to handle it, and it also shows grief in different levels. It starts out really small, a main character's pet dies, and then it slowly builds and builds and builds, and it puts you in a situation to think about what you would do if you were in that situation. It's so good. I still haven't seen the movie. That wraps up all the 5-star books I read this year, so now I have 5 4-star reviews. Wow, that was complicated. The first one being Good Omens. This was different for me. Basically, an angel and a demon have known each other since the beginning of time, and throughout that time they've sort of become unlikely friends, and they've lost their Antichrist and they have to get him back or the world's gonna end. This book is ridiculous. It is absurdism at its finest. I can't even say that because I haven't read any other books on absurdism, but it's done really well. It's crazy. It takes a bit to get into it because it is so out there, but once you're in it, it's fun as. Next book I have to share with you is Lock Every Door. This was the first thriller I've read and it was really good. I went into it not knowing much and I didn't want to. I wanted to be very surprised of what was going to happen. So this follows our main character Jules, who basically has nowhere to live, no family, and she gets a job as an apartment sitter in this really fancy hotel. But staying in the hotel has some really strange rules. You can't have any visitors, you can't spend a night away from the hotel, and you cannot disturb the other residents. This is all fine for Jules, there's a nice paycheck to stay there. But this all turns upside down for Jules when one of the house sitters that she is becoming friends with goes missing without a word, and it's just, the situation just is a bit off, and then it goes from there. I really enjoyed it. It was such a quick and easy read. The next book I have to share with you is Capturing the Devil. This is the fourth and final book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series. I enjoyed it. What I love the most about this book is that it went full circle. We ended up back on the Jack the Ripper case. We are in Chicago at the World's Fair, and everything goes wrong when we find out people have been going missing and no one cares, no one's looking for these girls. I will say one thing about this book that probably knocked it down a star for me is that there's a part, like 2/4 of the way in that it really slows down because it stops focusing so much on the story and it kind of goes into a side story, and it slowed it down for me, but then it picks it back up, so it was fine. Next book I gave 4 stars to is Finale. This is the final book in the Caraval series trilogy. Final book in the trilogy. In this book is running wild. All the fates have been released and they are terrorizing everyone. We have Legend, who's trying to become the Emperor, and we don't know who to trust. We don't know if Legend's good or bad, and Jack makes a comeback and we don't know if to trust him or not. The girls also find out a secret that completely blindsides them, and they need to work out what they're going to do with this secret and how they're going to handle it. And the final book on this list is Cinder. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It follows our main character called Cinder, and she's a cyborg. She lives in New Beijing, which is also suffering from this new disease going around and infecting people, and this hurts Cinder's situation even more. Already her stepmother and sisters don't like her, but it goes worse when she is blamed for her sister getting infected with the plague. Cinder is a mechanic, which I thought was really, really cool. Gets thrown into the middle of this like political tension we have going on when the prince asks her to fix his robot. So that's it for my top 10 favourite books of 2019, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys!